What's good, party people? This is Voodoo in the Woods. I'm According to Woods, and he is former U of MMA champion. He is the great Pius Inigo Lobo, better known as Voodoo Maxima. I lost steam there. There we go.
Sure. How you doing,
Yeah.
brother?
I'm doing good, man. There's a whole lot of fights. We got WrestleMania Backlash that's supposed to happen. There's fucking all types of fun shit here. So we're gonna talk about some of that fun shit.
Let's do it. I'm ready to go, man. What a 262. Very
Yeah,
impressed.
yeah. My goodness, this one was amazing. It needed another syllable because if it was fist fights and violence that you wanted, damn it, the UFC and UFC 262 knew exactly what you wanted. Now,
Hmm.
this one is a fun one because right off the bat, we had our guy, Christos the Spartan Giagos,
Hmm.
basically choke out Sean Soriano. And it's crazy, right? Because I mean, it's not so crazy, right? But uh, Tony Ferguson upped he wanted 25,000 more for the performance of the night and fight of the night and whatever. So Christos Giagos actually was the first recipient of such of a gratuitous part of Dana White, the UFC, and Tony Ferguson because he gets 75 G's in addition to his fight and win bonus. So yeah, I mean, Christos might have walked out with maybe $100,000.
Yep. Good for him too. Deserving. I
Yeah,
mean, the
man.
match, the match. Yeah, the
Oh,
the,
go
the
for it.
match started off. I was gonna say that the match started off, and his opponent was quite knowledgeable of his opponent, right? So he was able to defend the takedown significantly until defend the takedown and initiate some good old striking. Yagos was in trouble for a little bit there in the beginning, but then he went to his corner. He got some very good feedback from his corner. He came back in the second round, initiated his game plan immediately, got the fight to the ground, and eventually was able to secure the Darce choke with some excellent transition skills.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a big win for not only Christos, but flanked in his corner. He had John Robles. He had Chad the
Hmm.
Savage George. So it's just cool to see my friends on TV and
Hmm.
get a little bit more, weight to their pocketbook, theoretically speaking.
That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, again, I mean, the first fight of the night gets the first performance of the night, first finish of the night, and we just kind of keep it going, man. But because we had Tucker Lutz and Kevin Aguilar, and
Hmm.
holy hell, man! Like we were pretty much giving Kevin the Angel of Death, Aguilar, kind of his last rites, just because his I think 0-3 in his last couple outings in the UFC, and but damn man, now obviously Tucker Lutz he did have a kind of Kevin figured out pretty often, right? It was almost like Kevin was stepping into Tucker's punches. It was just like he bobbed,
Hmm.
and then there was a fist waiting for him all the time. But the tenacity of Kevin Aguilar, Jesus Louises, man. This one should have been another fight of the night. Honest to goodness.
Yes. But unfortunately, only one person can win that one. These two fighters came prepared. Kevin Aguilar, he was very aware of the situation that he was in, and he brought everything he had. It just so happens that Tucker Lutz was just a little bit out of reach. Tucker was able to move in and out laterally as well, sticking them with those 1-2s, those hooks, while he's moving backwards. Everything was just on point. He mixed in that wrestling real good, and Aguilar didn't really find his range until the third round. But by then, Tucker already won the first two rounds. So You know, the rest was simple. But Tucker was able to hold on and actually win the third round as well. So it was quite an impressive matchup. Good, very good matchup. Both fighters were admirable in this particular fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't be against. Obviously he's 0-4, so this might be a pipe dream, but I wouldn't be against having Aguilar back for one more.
One thing about Aguilar is, win or lose, he's going to entertain. So that notion of bringing him back for one more, this is something that the UFC will entertain because they like these type of people. They like people that come in, show out, give it their very best. No laying and praying type dudes. You know what I'm saying? They like action. It's about entertaining the fans, and the Archangel is that person. He likes to entertain. So hopefully he does get another shot.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Now, speaking of shots, good God, man, we definitely got the shot in the next fight. We had Priscilla Castrera against Danger Gino Mazzini, and
Hmm.
man, Mazzini, holy hell, man, she was winning this fight, but nobody like kind of told her or something, or maybe they told her because it looked like she was gassed, and that's all it took for Castrera just to come in and just mollywop her. Like the referee kind of, she was kind of. It was almost a precursor to what we were gonna see, in the main event, right? Where she just kind of she was rocked, and like the will almost drained from her body. The will to win just like completely dashed.
Yes, yes. This particular match was it was a more nerve driven match. Gina Mazzani was not comfortable in that match. Um, when the gas tank goes away so quickly like that, it's not because this person isn't in shape. They're in shape. It's just that their mind is putting so much stress on their central nervous system that they in turn um, um, exhaust themselves. Right? Even though she was utilizing wrestling and she was using it very well, she didn't wait for her body to warm up first. Right? I know this from experience. The body has to warm up and get in a rhythm before demanding such redlining from it. If you redline without the body being warm first, then you get situations like this in which she maxed out at 5 minutes, rest for 1 minute, came back for another 2 minutes, and then she was done. She had redlined herself. Priscilla, on the other hand, she was calm, cool, collected. Even though she lost that first round, she had a good 10 minutes left in her. So when she saw that, excuse me, when she saw Gina was beginning to slow down, she upped the ante and brought the heat. And I don't see this as a TKO. I see this as a KO. You know what I mean? She went in there and took her head off, literally.
Yeah, absolutely. So, man, it was such a disheartening thing. It was almost like I it almost reminds me of that kicker, right? Supposedly in Ace Ventura, right? The lace is out, and it changed the trajectory of that entire
Hmm.
person's life and whatever. That was it. This is the laces out.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
you had it in the bag, theoretically
Hmm.
speaking, and it just like, yeah, nerves, man. And
Yeah, when we look at each individual skill set, Mazzani had more skills. She had the wrestling. Excuse me. She had the jujitsu. She had the striking, the hands and feet. It was in order. But unfortunately, the mind wasn't in order. So
yeah, unfortunately,
excuse me.
unfortunately, but
These things happen.
yeah, absolutely. So big win for Priscilla Cachoeira. Um,
Hmm.
Another win that we didn't see coming was Andrea KGB Lee. Basically, triangle armbars Antonina Shevchenko, the older sister of current champion Valentina the Bullet Shevchenko. Well, again, The sister was just a sister, and it's it's funny, and not to make light of somebody not doing well, especially in this avenue of MMA and what have you. But I saw a meme, and it was, you remember that Gina Davis movie A League of Their Own back in the day?
Right.
About the all women.
With Tom Cruise. I mean, Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. There we go. Tom Hanks. That's who it was. Um, but you remember Kit, the little sister, right? They're like, because Dottie was like the one everybody loved, and it was like,
Right.
hey, this is
The
our
blonde.
daughter. Yeah, this is our daughter, Dottie, right? And this is our other daughter, Dottie's sister, right? Well, I saw a meme playing on that, and it's, like the Shevchenko parents going like, "This is our daughter Valentina. This is our other daughter, Valentina's sister."
The internet is cruel, man.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, man. But yeah, I'm still laughing about it. It's so bad. But yeah, so unfortunately, the older Shevchenko sister lost. The Shevchenko sister, that's a actual pilot. She's a pilot, and
Hmm.
she bombs away when her ideas of winning this fight.
Hey, man, like we always talk about, man, there's got to be a sacrifice made. Something has to be sacrificed to be proficient and effective and complete in mixed martial arts. You have to sacrifice everything. You know what I mean? Antonina has yet to make the ultimate sacrifice. You know, for her to be proficient in wrestling, she has to put the time in. Her striking is superb, as you can see. KJ Lee, KJB, whatever Lee, she struck with her, but ultimately, what did she do? She went where it was weakest, and this is a smart decision. Why strike with a multi-time champion on the feet when I can try my luck at a little takedown, a little wrestling, and see what happens? And guess what? She was able to initiate the takedown, get it to the ground, and keep it on the ground. The first round, second round, get the finish. It is what it is. Even though Antonina hung in there for a while, in that triangle for like 4 minutes, it only took a few seconds to armbar somebody. So she still is missing that ground. That wrestling is not up to par. I don't understand. Actually, I do understand. Her younger sister is willing to put every ounce of herself into it, while Antonina makes time for flying airplanes. This is the difference between the two. They have the same genes. It is not that one is weaker. It is one is willing to go the extra mile, and that's the only logical sense that I can make of this situation.
Yeah, unfortunately, for Antonina, it was, yeah, it was rough. It was rough to just being the other sister. Oh, my pug! He knocked the light off that jerk face. He's a genuine jerk face. That guy. His face looks like a jerk. Anywho, it's not too bad. But yeah, so that's what we had there. Now in the next bout, we had he wants to be an asshole less. He's an asshole again. Anywho, we had the Beverly Hills Ninja, Jordan Wright, KO Jamie Pickett, which is kind of what we thought was going to happen. It only took a minute for Jordan Wright to do
Hmm.
this.
Hmm.
Jamie Pickett looked pretty like he was messed up pretty damn bad. Just
Hmm.
the level of respect that Jordan Wright has. He reminds me a bit of Uriah Hall, right? A traditional martial
Hmm.
artist,
Hmm.
but also is
Hmm.
empathetic for not mollywopping his opponent, right?
Hmm.
But the one thing that Jordan Wright has, and I believe he has versus Uriah Hall, nothing against Uriah Hall, but Jordan
Hmm.
Wright has a killer instinct. He don't care. And not until like the
Yeah,
ref waves everything off. I think Jordan Wright has a amazing future in the UFC.
Jordan Wright is a complete martial artist. Um, as you can see in his character, his etiquette, he's a martial artist. Upon winning, he went straight to the knees. even though he was facing his opponent. I don't know what style of martial art he did, but where I come from, you turn your back to your opponent, give him that privacy. You know what I'm saying? You're on your knees to signify that um, you understand a damage has occurred. So now for your opponent to get treatment or whatever, or what, you turn your back to him. You know what I mean? But anyways, so the match starts or whatever, and the young man, what's his name, Jamie Pickett, he rushed in there. He brought what he brings to the table, which is lots of speed, lots of hand speed, striking ferocity. He brought it. Jordan Wright feathered the storm. Um, Jamie made the mistake of going for the takedown. Jordan braced himself on the fence and found that temple. Dropped the 5 to 6 elbow, stunning his opponent, shaking him off, open up that left hand, and then just drilled him until the referee pulled him off. You know, these things happen. These things happen. What we have in these two fighters is the difference between a fighter and a martial artist. The striking of Jordan, even though we didn't really get to see his kicks, really his punching, you can see that he comes from a dojo. You know, he doesn't come from a gym. He doesn't come from a gym. Fighters come from gyms. You know what I mean? Martial artists come from dojos. And you will also see in Lando Veneta, same style, right? These people who come from dojos, who have that dojo background in, like, say, for example, karate, taekwondo, and so forth, they fight different. Their approach is different. Their movement is different. You know what I mean? These guys are the ones that are ending up dynamic strikers because they spend time. They don't just learn the kick; they learn to perfect the kick. They learn the basic structure of each kick, so it snaps. You know what I mean? When it's time to be a stiff shot, then it's a stiff. If it's a whipping one, then it's a whipping one. But fighters just throw the leg. Some of them are athletic enough to do these things, but there's a difference in the way they execute it, right? Those who come from dojos have the ability to snap, while fighters just force the kick because they can. They're athletic enough to do it. There's a difference. You have to really study it to see the subtle differences between the two.
Yeah, man. You make an amazing point, and you were talking about the bowing or giving, turning the back to the opponent to, give
Hmm.
them a semblance of privacy. I
Hmm.
must be not from a dojo, but from the school of dodo, because if I knock somebody out like that, I'd probably run to the back because I would be like, "Is he dead? Is he dead? I don't want to be here for that." Like, I'm the kind of guy, to quote the Bare Naked Ladies, I'm the kind of guy who laughs at a funeral. Can't understand what I mean, you soon will. So, with that all being said, I'd be like, I don't, did I kill him? No, I'm out. I'm out. Let's, my, I, I did the same thing with the Undertaker and Paul Bear when that final gong or whatever, man, and they would wrap somebody up in a body bag. I'd be like, and run to the bathroom like a little biatch. So that's me. That's one of the many reasons why I don't fight. So, sorry, Cub Swanson. I'm a guy who covers MMA that doesn't fight. Saying, yeah. So can't win them all. But one of us
Not at
at the
all.
end of our career can remember half of it. That's not me. I mean, actually, it is me. Never mind. Yeah, well. I did the Sid, right? You have half the brain that I do. Oh, fuck, man. I didn't say that right. Yeah. Sub Don McGuire. Much love to you, my brother. Yeah, I mean. So, next fight, we had the aforementioned Groovy Lando Venata, basically, beat Mike Grundy in a split decision.
Hmm.
And, I mean, it was a good fight,
Hmm.
but,
It was very
also,
good.
Yes, but also for me, what makes great fights are, I guess, like circumstances. There has to be
Hmm.
something, right? To
Hmm.
There has to be some sort of, not wager. I guess wager. There has to be something. Why are they
Something
fighting?
aligned.
Right.
Hmm.
Why are they fighting? Especially as they're literally rapidly losing brain cells at a breakneck pace. Right.
Hmm.
Just to fight again? Are either of these two title contenders? Did they win fight of the night? Right? So why is what I'm saying. Why did this occur? And yes, they still have it, but like they're not even in the top 15 either one of them. Like what?
True, true. You know what purpose this fight served? Just like we just mentioned with the previous match with Jordan Wright and Jamie Pickett. This is another evidence that the dynamic strikers are here and they're here to stay. Groovy Vanada Lando is another example of that dynamic striking. You saw in his movement. Mike Grundy is a complete fighter. He's a complete mixed martial artist, as evidenced by his attempt to wrestle, his attempt to submit, his attempt to punch and kick. He did everything that his mind willed him to do. You can tell he's well trained and all, but there was a slight subtle difference. Lando was light on his feet. I mean, if you watch that movie with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, in the beginning, Bruce Lee stood
Spice World 2?
flat-footed. No, no, uh, Return of the Dragon, I believe. Return of the Dragon.
Oh.
So Bruce Lee stood flat-footed against a karate guy in Chuck Norris, and Chuck Norris was lighting him up, and then he starts to bounce. He changed up his rhythm. He went from he went into, like he would like to say, broken rhythm. Now you cannot tell where I'm going to be in the next instant. You know what I'm saying? If we stood flat foot to flat foot, you're faster than me. You can hit me. But now you don't know where I'm going to be in the next second. And this was the edge that Bruce Lee needed to defeat his enemy. And this is the style of the dynamic striker. Non-stop movement, constant movement, stick and move in and out. You know what I mean? The whipping kicks and all that. We saw all of this in Lando. And the well execution of that lead front leg for front kicks and round kicks, which we will see again in the main event. But people are starting to understand, man. There is something about that front leg that is significant. Significant. People are sleeping on that front leg. You know, a lot of people have a Muay Thai background in regards to striking. Muay Thai, when it comes to striking, is the most base, right? Because they bring everything, 8 limbs, right? But at the same time, you have to make time to perfect those kids. Not just rear leg dominant, 50-50, both legs, just like your hand, right? There is no dominant side. You should be able to switch from left to right indiscriminately if one is to be a complete fighter. You know what I mean? So what we're seeing here is changing of the guards. The dynamic strikers are here, and one by one, they are beginning to take out your traditional fighters. These dynamic strikers are being taught by dynamic individuals, such as Dwayne Bang Ludwig. You know, you remember Dwayne Ludwig back in this time. He was a dynamic striker way back then, coming from the lineage of Bass Rutten. Now we have Dwayne Bang Ludwig. Shout out Bang. You know what I mean? From him comes TJ Dillashaw. You know the movement of TJ Dillashaw. You know what I'm saying? This is the future. This is the future. Actually, this isn't the future. This is right now. This is right now. Because in back-to-back fights, those dynamic movers, dynamic strikers, took out their opponent in dominant fashion, either by knockout or was this? You know what? This was a split decision, but I thought Lando he won all the rounds, in my opinion.
Well, you can't forget, never forget, they were in Texas, and when it comes to judging, Texas would be like, bah! Whatever the fuck, man. You don't even know what the fuck. Don McGuire says your shirt says Punk, and Voodoo says Bush. No, he says Rush, right?
Rush.
Yeah.
Bum
Rush
Bush.
or Buckeye. My Buckeye is the reason why my son is here 13 years later. But I digress. Nobody got that one. We had Andre Muniz basically submit the great jiu-jitsu practitioner Jacare Souza. Literally fucking broke his arm. That just you fucked him up. Yeah, like I was like, I was like, did Jacare do a Colby Covington and just ran the fuck out the ring? But apparently his arm was broke. So yeah, I'm just saying.
Hey, it was very it was a rude awakening. You know, it was something that was in the back of my mind, but I didn't want to admit to myself. But Jacare has become a former shell of himself. He still got the toughness, he still got the heart, but the fight has left him. Now he needs to understand that these youngsters are out. They're out. They're out transitioning him. You know, his movement is almost a whole second slow. When the kid jumped on his back, he was on his back for at least 1 second before he tried and shake him off. And by then, it was already too late. He was already ingrained. He had the hooks in. You know, Chakare, I feel so bad that he's going out like this. First Kevin Holland, now this kid. You know, um, I think it's time for the UFC to step in there and do something he's not willing to do. You know, same thing they did for Anderson Silva. You got to let these guys go. Um, they they will not stop. They're warriors. They come from lines of warriors. You know, they fight to the death is what
Yep.
they do. They're gladiators. They don't know any better. All they know is carnage. They've been training themselves to be this way for some 20 plus years. I mean, Joe Rogan was talking about the one time that Jacare was grappling and some dude snapped his arm and he tucked it into his pants and finished the match and got the
Mm-hmm.
W with a broken arm. I mean, he this is his mentality: kill or be killed. And slowly, these fighters are dying out. Nick Diaz said, "Last of a dying breed." You know, and I have to answer him. Yeah, you're right, because it's the dawn of the dynamic strikers. This is it's time for the dynamic strikers. You know, that thing that Carlos Condit was doing to him back then. That he said, "What's up with this spinning shit?" Remember that? Are we
Yep.
doing spin kick now? You know what I mean? Spinning shit? Yeah, man. That's that dynamic striking starting to peak out back then. Now it's here, and these fighters either adapt or ship out, and we're gonna see a little bit more of that as this particular event continues. More dynamic strikers taking out your traditional fighters.
No, 1,000%. Alex Ramirez says Andre Muniz snapped the Jacare Souza. The Jacare Souza. No, 100%. Hopefully, he basically took that alligator, cut it up a little bit, you deep fry that some bitch because alligator bites are amazing. Are amazing. So I eat alligator.
Hey,
So hopefully
hey,
we got some of that.
he he also skinned that gator and made boots out of him, man. Straight up,
No, 1,000%. And Alex
straight up.
Ramirez also says the UFC is reaching a point where all the greats are being put in clinic bouts versus young, hungry prospects. Enjoy these next couple fights because the end of an era
Hmm.
is near. 100%.
Yes, those young, hungry prospects. Look at them closely. Monitor their movement. Monitor their approach. These is the dawn of the dynamic strikers, and the dynamic strikers are gonna take us from flow state fighters into free flow. What you saw between Lando and Grundy is the difference between a free flower and a dynamic, dyna, a free flower and a flow state guy. They're both hitting their best. It's just one is more fluid and can go a little bit further than the other. You know what I mean? The dynamic strikers, the more tools you have, the easier it is to enter free flow. But most fighters and most athletes will remain in flow state.
Yeah, 100%. And Don McGuire says, I will always love the natural born killer, Carlos Condit. Nope,
Yeah.
100%. Former interim champion.
Hey,
Yeah, man.
coming up, I patterned a lot of my striking to Carlos Condit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
He's got yeah. Carlos Condit. He's been around for years, man. From
Mm-hmm.
days of the WEC. He was a 155-pound champion in WBC WEC. I'm sorry. Was it, yeah, 155. Then he went up to
Yeah.
170. The
Right.
dude is an animal, man. Animal. And then he's also one of those dudes that's not athletic at all. He's very slow. He doesn't have fast twitch, but what he's got is hard work and basic fundamentals. He is all fundamentals and hard work. You know what I mean? He takes out excellent, excellent lions by systematically hunting them down, like Craven the Hunter in the Spider-Man comics. He hunts them down, he sets traps, he captures them, and he picks them out. You know what I mean? He is a Hall of Famer, most definitely Hall of Famer.
I would think so. I would think so. I'm not mad at that. You know, and
Hmm.
Don McGuire says, yep, his fight IQ is very high. You know, and
Hmm.
that's
Hmm.
the catch 22, right? Of an older fighter.
Hmm.
You know, it's just like people, right? When people are young, they want to be old, right? And then when you get a little bit older, you want your youth, right? But you know,
Hmm.
it just doesn't meet, right? So
Hmm. Hmm.
as you advance in a fighter and you get more experience, well, you don't have the youth to kind of put it all together, and you kind of, you know, it can be I guess a rocket to ruin, just like the Ramon said. You know, just
Hmm.
saying, yeah.
Hmm.
So, I mean, there's no better way to put it, but we got Edson Barbosa. Fucking, I mean, talk about shadow roaming the fuck out of people. Edson Barbosa, fucking, I think I posted a meme, and it's like Edson Barbosa's strikes are almost like edibles, man. Like it has that fucking delayed effect. Like he punches you one time, and then it might take a couple minutes, but you're in another fucking orbit, man. Like it was weird. I was just like, is
Hmm.
there like a phantom tag team shit? Like, oh my god, that it was probably one of the strangest finishes I've ever seen. I've ever seen.
Hmm. If you really think about it, the only time you see what happened to Shane Burgos is in the movies. You know what I mean? Like those characters in the comic books, they take a while to fall. Why? That tough mind. You know what I mean? His mind is so tough that even though his computer was shut off, he forced it to stay on for another 1 to 2 seconds
Yeah.
before succumbing to the effects of the shot. I mean, Shane Burgos, man, what a tough individual. I mean, look how much damage he took to that leg. I mean, understand that he's getting kicked by the best kicker in the UFC. Edson Barbosa is the best kicker in the UFC. First to drop off a spinning heel kick in competition. The very
Mm-hmm.
first. The very first. You know what I'm saying? Barbosa is no easy task. He has finally adjusted to the 145-pound division. You know what I mean? He has successfully shrunk his frame down to the 145, and he's feeling good now. As you can see, he didn't really get tired. He pushed the pace. He threw great shots, and he kept moving the entire time. If he stayed flat-footed with a Shane Burgos, he's gonna catch you sooner or later. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
catch you sooner or later, and you're gonna get hurt bad. I mean, even though Barbosa was moving around, look at his face at the end of the match. Shane Burgos is nobody's uh, uh,
Chump.
stepping stone. He ain't
Nope.
nobody's stepping stone, and he's nobody's gatekeeper either. You know what I mean? He's got a shot to win that title. He is that kind of guy. Uh, Unfortunately for him, though, he adapted the fighter's style. You know what I mean? He adapted the old way instead of investing into the new way. You know, it is what it is. It's working for him, right? That style is
Yeah.
working for him. The fighter style is working for him because He can wrestle, just like the guy from before that fought Lando, Mike Grundy. He's a
Yep.
complete fighter, and so is Shane Burgos, another complete fighter. But it's better to have a 2001, I mean, 2021 than a 2019. You know what I'm saying? The computer software is upgraded. Everything is moving. Everything is grooving. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem that we're having. The dynamic striking is here. People need to understand. All you young fighters, understand that flat-footedness is gone. You know what I mean? You want to be somebody in mixed martial arts? You want to be a champion? You got to move your feet now. You got to move your feet now. That thing that you see in the Olympics, the Taekwondo movement, that stuff really works.
Mm-hmm.
You take
Yeah.
that kind of movement, apply it to your fighting style, and you become unstoppable. You become that next level of striking just by improving your movement alone. Movement. I mean, let's ask ourselves this question. In football, when is it easiest to tackle a quarterback? When he's standing still,
Oh,
looking downfield, trying to pass the ball. Then you can crack him really good. You try and tackle him when he's moving his feet. It's going to be harder, right? That goes for any sport. Bull hunting. When is it easiest to hit the target? When it's standing stationary, right there in front of you, right? You try and hit a pig while it's in motion. It's going to be difficult. This is the idea of the movement. And the sooner people understand this, the better they're going to be. I mean, look at anything in life in regards to targeting, right? If you don't have radar or missile lock, it's going to be difficult to hit a moving target. So if you call yourself a combat sports artist and you're not moving your feet, you're selling yourself short.
yep. Settling yourself vertically challenged. Yep. Rashawn Thompson
Ooh.
says, agreed. Agreed.
What's up, Loco?
Yeah, man. Shout out to Loco. But yeah, I mean, a good win for Edson Barbosa. I think I swore his last rights, but apparently he proved me wrong. Good on you. Good on you, Edson Barbosa. So we had a
Oh,
unanimous
by the way, by
decision.
the way,
Oh, good. Go for it.
by the way, Barbosa got a new contract. They gave him more money, by
Yeah.
the way. Shout out to Barbosa. Yeah, you got money. You got
I, don't-
money.
I don't know, man. That might be weird because, like, to me, it's just like you bring him in to kind of job him out because, I mean, could he be a contender at 145?
Yes, man. Barbosa's dangerous, brother. He can knock out anybody in that division. Anybody. He's very
Okay.
dangerous. I
I,
mean, the problem
I'm
he was having before was the grappling, right? I mean, not that there aren't any grapplers at 145. It's just that power wise, he can match the guys at 145 power wise. You know what I'm saying? The takedown defense will be a lot stronger. I mean, look at when it went up against Khabib. Khabib was like 20 pounds bigger than him when they were in the cage. I mean,
yeah,
when you're at 155, you're going to be running into dudes that are 200 pounds coming down to 155. And Barboza has to eat his way up to make 155. He has to eat up. Now he doesn't have to do that. He doesn't have to stress his body anymore. Now his body is shrinking down to its natural state, and he's performing well. You know what I mean? Look at the fight from yesterday. He looked really really good. He looked really really good against one of the most one of the top five most dangerous individuals in that division.
yeah. I know what you're saying. Now, could he beat the champ? Absolutely, because anybody can beat Volkanovski. Max Holloway did it twice, and they didn't give it. You know, but I think he has problems. He probably gets past Dan Ige and Calvin Cater, but then Ortega or Holloway, like that's where it gets rough for me. I think
Yeah.
you know
The
he
thing is,
beats the
the
champ.
thing is, he beats the champ, but he has to get through Murderer's Road, right? I get you. But the thing is, just like Masvidal was able to string together those three lucky knockouts, he might be able to line his ducks in a row too, man, and work his way straight to that title by knocking
I
folks out.
Crazier shit can happen, man. So shout out
God,
to
you know what
Edson.
I'm saying?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But speaking of crazy shit that happened, Caitlin Chikugian, all right, like
Hmm.
I was wrong about her, man. She dominated the shit out of Viviana Rojo. This is, man, her striking looked crisper. Like she was a completely different person than she was the last
Hmm.
time that we saw her in the octagon.
Hmm.
It might not be exciting to a lot of people, but wait, she already faced Nunez, right? So, right, like,
Amanda Nunes,
yeah, didn't she?
I believe so. I believe
Wait,
so.
wait, flyweight,
At
flyweight. I'm
135,
sorry.
right?
No. I'm sorry. She faced Shevchenko.
Shevchenko, yeah. She faced
Yeah, there we
Shevchenko,
go.
and
Well, I
she
got
she
my
lost to Shevchenko.
right, exactly in a title fight. Um,
Yeah,
so I was gonna say I could see her as a title contender. Yes, because I've already fucking seen her as a title contender. Um,
yeah.
as long as Valentina has it, as great as Caitlyn looked, I don't think if they face each other again, I don't think there's gonna be too much different than the first time.
Uh, the best place that she can beat Shevchenko is on the ground because it is the thing that she learned the last. It hasn't been super ingrained like her kickboxing and other things. So this will probably be the easiest. That's why she went to the ground. She tried to go to the ground with her, but unfortunately, she's tough. You know, Shevchenko ain't no easy. She's paid the ultimate sacrifice. She
She's
has
not her
no like.
sister. If you think you're gonna
She is
fucking
not her
fight
sister.
Antonina, no, that's Valentina. Get that shit together,
Yeah,
son.
Valentina doesn't make time to learn how to fly planes. You know, it doesn't happen. She sacrificed her entire existence to being the ultimate weapon. You know what I mean? And she is that already. So don't expect taking that belt from her unless you land a phantom knockout. Then there you go. But for right now, I don't know. I don't know. But Chukage was quite impressive. I did not expect her to go out there and really compete on her feet
Yeah,
only. You know what I mean? She stood the entire time throwing excellent shots, utilizing that lead front leg, front kicks to the face, front kicks to the body, diversifying her striking, head, medium, and legs. Beautiful, man. Everything was on point. I was shocked. I was shocked. I mean, it was a 50-50 pick for us. You picked the
yeah,
Brazilian, I picked her. It was a 50-50 pick. I mean, the Brazilian's a tough individual too. We didn't know who was gonna win. It was a toss up. We flipped the coin, and then heads and tails. So we chose either side of it. And then she went out there and surprised the both of us,
yeah.
right?
She might be my Usman, right? I'm never picking. Like I said, I'd never pick against Usman again. I'm never picking against one Chikugian again. And funny enough, right? Mentioned Usman
Mm-hmm.
and what we are. Apparently, Alex Ramirez says, "Have you seen Caitlin's Twitter likes? LOL. See it for yourself. She loves the dark chocolate pounding."
Oh, so that's what she was talking. I was watching
Yeah, we were like,
a
"Why is
post
she
fight interview.
trending?"
I was
Oh,
watching a post fight interview, and she said somebody hacked into her Twitter or something like that. So that's what
sh-
that's about. Okay.
sure. Somebody hacked your Twitter. Yeah, that's always what happens. Like when people get found out and shit like that, like nudes or yeah. She didn't know how Twitter. Like, oh, people can watch it. Like people can see what I like, and that's what happened. I don't even know that function on Twitter, but apparently neither did the blonde fighter, which she earns every bit of her name, the blonde fighter. Like I don't know. I don't know. I was trying to do a New Jersey accent. I couldn't get it, but like it. And Alex wants to know, how do you feel about Tatiana Suarez and Valentina? Do you want to go for it, or do you want me to go first?
You can go first, sir.
Hey, Alex, you remember the Iron Sheik, right? Him on Howard Stern. What did he say he does to everyone? He fucks him in the ass, breaks the back, and make him humble. That's what I think Valentina will do. Nothing against Tatiana Suarez, right? But unfortunately, Tatiana, the reason why she's out is a back problem. I would not. I wouldn't. I have my whole spine. I've never had any problems with it. Knock on wood. And I don't want to fight Valentina. I'm not even in her same gender. I don't want to fight Valentina. I don't even want to be in a room where she's kicking a bag with the reverberations, because that reverberation might cause like the static in my heart to fucking defibrillate or fibrillate or whatever the fuck. It scares the shit out of me. So that's nothing against Tatiana Suarez, but there has to be. I can't even like, oh, coming back from back surgery and like, oh, Valentina? Fuck that. And be like, I'd be like a fucking Jermaine Durand to me with Cyborg. Fuck it, I'll just give up the title. I'm good.
The last time I saw Tatiana Suarez was one of those Indian reservations for Gladiator Challenge. I went to go see Ryan Lilly defend one of his titles. Right before her very last match that got her injured, I seen her there. Which one is it? What's the name of that place? Whatever, man. I forget the name. Anyway, that was the last time I saw her, and that's from 4 or 5 years ago. She has been injured all, excuse me, all this time. She is still Suarez. She still got that wrestling. She will get out there and she will train hard and get back in shape. But in those 5 years that she's been gone, do you understand how much this game has evolved? The fact that she's not able to get out there and mix it up with those people that she trained with, they would have evolved so much more than what she remembers. Even though she's able to sit there and watch them, the fact that she's not engaging and learning muscle memory, she's so far behind, right? Now she's going in there against Valentina. I will not be giving her any quarters. Valentina will go in there and roll her over. Roll her over. It will be too easy. She's been out of the loop for too long. I mean, what happens to your computer when you've had your computer for 5 years and you didn't upgrade? You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very similar to that, but not as severe. But that's what we've got, man. I got Valentina, most definitely.
Wait, you mean to tell me that you're not running Net Zero? Shit, I got that shit from CompUSA and it's working fine. Got it for free. It was a free trial. 15 years later, it's still great. Still fucking great. I'm just saying. So, yeah, so there's that. And Rashawn Thompson said, "What up, bro? Yeah, man.
What up, loco?"
So, speaking of, I guess, loco, or lack thereof, we had Rogerio Bontorin against Matt Schnell. I'm sorry. I actually went to the bathroom for this fight. I didn't give a shit. Actually, I gave a shit because I shat while I was in the bathroom. So I gave 3 shits about the fight, but it wasn't about the fight. It was about what I ate earlier in the day.
This fight actually surprised me. I wasn't expecting too much from these dudes, but the striking prowess on both guys was quite impressive. The hand speed was what stood out to me the most. The hand speed. This weight class, this 135 weight class. Man, these guys are fast. I've forgotten how fast they are, man. Rodrigo Bontorin, he went after Matt. He went after him and he brought the pain, man. Matt had his moments too, but with the ring, he did his thing. In regards to unanimous decision, as long as he won the match, that's all that mattered to me. He got the takedowns when he needed to. He struck when he had to. He was a complete mixed martial artist. And on top of that, these two fellas are bordering on a dynamic striking. And because the dynamic striking, they get the dynamic striking label because their little size, these little people like this, they move a lot. The speed, they're forced to move because they're so fast. So dynamic striking thrusted upon them because of the speed that they carry in themselves. So uh, they're on their way, these two. Even though Bontorin won this one, Schneal, he's not out of the loop yet. I still see good things coming from him. He just needs to tie some things together and become more of a complete striker, or complete mixed martial artist, I should say. And you'll see a little change in him.
I like it. I like it. One thing that I forgot to mention with the Edson Barbosa Shane Burgos fight, where they were the recipients of the fight
Mm-hmm.
of the night. So even with
Yes.
the fucking phantom punch and delayed reaction,
Mm-hmm.
Shane Burgos still
Mm-hmm.
got 75 Gs, as did Edson Barbosa. So that's not a bad way to start or end a portion of your career, your contract, and kind of ascend to a
Mm-hmm.
new one. So shout out to Edson Barbosa and Shane Burgos for
And
being the second
and
recipients.
furthermore, I really appreciate the fact that Dana immediately told that dude to go straight to the hospital and to get his brain checked, because that was a little worrisome. You know what I mean? To fall later like that, it was a little worrisome. It was tough to look at. It was tough to look at because when he shut down completely after about a second or 2 seconds of remaining standing, right? Still moving. He wasn't just still. He didn't fall timber, right? He was still moving. He was still willing his body to move, and then his computer just boom, shut out.
Yeah, man. Which I love that you brought up the you should get your head checked, because we are at the co-main events of the evening, where Benny Dariush basically bested Tony Ferguson in every conceivable way possible. He outstruck him. He outgrappled him. Damn near. I mean, in that heel hook, he basically tore all of Tony's shit, like the ligaments, all in his fucking feet and all that. Whatever, it was all fucked. Yeah, man. What is your take? I don't want to get into another kind of long-winded deal, but what was your take?
For everything to be balanced, there's gotta be a yin and a yang, right? Tony has intense mental fortitude, which he acquired from wrestling. Any wrestler, Tatiana Suarez, like he mentioned, like Alex mentioned earlier, there's a certain toughness. The Cookie Monster. What's her name again? The
Carla
Cookie Monster.
Carla Esparza.
Carlos Esparza. There's a toughness to him. You know, we go down the line of all the wrestlers, right? They come tough. They come built for tough, right? But then that toughness tends to be a double-edged sword, right? It can cut at every opponent, but then if you swing the wrong way, it could come back and cut you too. And it seems this is what we're seeing in Tony Ferguson. He's so mentally tough, and this has driven him throughout his entire career. That 12-fight win streak, it's that mental toughness that got him through. Now he's I believe
37.
37, and I think he's lost a step. Now, here's what I mean by that. Skill-wise, he hasn't lost any skill. Toughness-wise, he hasn't lost any toughness. In fact, he's gained more. Cardio-wise, he's never dead tired at the end of those matches that he's lost. He always hops right back up, walking around like, you know what I'm saying? So it is not his toughness. It is not his cardio. It is not his striking or lack thereof. Tony Ferguson is getting old. He's slowing down. I know from experience. He is beginning to slow down. He's lost his step. Skill-wise, he can match up with anybody, but they are beating him to the punch. Problem. They're beating him to the punch. He's catching the takedowns slightly late, so he cannot sprawl. Not that he can't sprawl, The mind is not working as fast as it used to. This is what I mean by he's lost a step. Excuse me. He's still the great athlete that he is,
Yeah.
but when we get to the top five, the top eight, but actually the top five have become impossible for him. And but the 5 to 8 are questionable. Some he's gonna win and some he's gonna lose.
Yep.
If he stops fighting the top five and he focuses more on the lesser equipped dudes, I believe he can still compete at the highest level because they haven't quite transitioned to that flow, free flow, right? If you're making it in the 155-pound division, if you're making into the top 4, top 5, you have the ability to hit free flow. But outside of that, man, I don't know. I don't know. Tony Ferguson, I believe, has lost significant mental speed, fight
No.
speed. Not that he,
No.
not that he
Oh.
regressed mentally. It's just when it comes to fighting, he's lost a step.
And so Alex Ramirez puts an interesting point, and it's kind of along the lines of what I believe. But I'm a bit worried about Ferguson. I don't think he's the type of dude that accepts a loss at this rapid rate. Hopefully, he doesn't have a breakdown because being at the top and suddenly not getting that post-fight interview gets to you. No, 1,000%. And you're saying I hope that he doesn't, like a preemptive kind of cautionary tale. He's already had it, right? His wife has already called because of a domestic violence deal. He already, has been put on a 5150 hold because he felt like people are, listening to him through the walls, right? All the signs are here. All the signs are here, And again,
The thing,
it's
yeah,
it's not like we don't have like you can't cheer Tony Ferguson theoretically, in my view. You can't cheer on Tony Ferguson to want to fight, right? And also shit talk Josh Fabian, Diego Sanchez because it's more similar than you think, And again, we've had Jason Mayhem Miller, right? You've had who the other ones like there's been a couple of them where like brain injury, have played a part, and again, like you said, the mental fortitude of wrestlers and Tony Ferguson specifically, but he's got a wife and kids, man. There needs to be more to Tony Ferguson than just fighting at
yeah,
37.
yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, and again, if you're not in title contention, what is it? Like you've made at least $1 million with at least, and that's been on a conservative estimate in terms of your career total winnings. And if you're not fighting for the title, I mean, you got an interim one, right? But if you're not fighting for the title, why do it? Right? Yeah, it says Tapology apparently disclosed it's 1.937 is Tony Ferguson's career earnings, right? So,
Mm.
to me, the only appointment that I wanted Tony Ferguson to make, right, is to hopefully, go ahead and call call Ian McCall, call Uncle Creepy, get hooked up with whatever that psychedelic mushrooms and shit is, rewire the brain, and once you have it rewired, like that, the remainder of your brain should be reserved for your family and your friends that are close to you. I mean,
Yeah,
don't do it for
yeah,
the roar of the crowd.
hmm yeah. See, that's the thing about warriors. Well, if you've seen the movie 300, Leonidas, he yells to his army. He says, "Hey, Spartans, what do we do? Oh, oh." And before that, he pointed to the other army. He said, "Hey, you, what do you do?" He said, "I'm a sculptor." What do you do? "I'm a potter." What do you do? "I'm a painter." What? "I'm a carpenter." Right? These other people have other things that they do. You
Hmm.
like Tony Ferguson? These guys that find it hard to let go, this is all they know. They are born warriors. All they do is fight, and they never took the time to think about post fight. Right? This is what we talk about all the time when me and you we talk about this damn near every time. Young fighters, this is an opportunity. This is not a profession. It's an opportunity. Yeah, people like Cowboy have worked there for 20 plus years. Let's say 25 max, right? The longest one has worked there for 25 max fighting, right? But after those 25 years, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? This is the problem that these guys are having. They never build another skill. So when this one ends, you can simply transition to the next one and keep the continuity going. So now we're asking Tony Ferguson to stop what's given him his bread and butter all this time, but he's not prepared to do anything else. This is the problem. It's not
Yeah.
that he doesn't know that his brain is getting smashed. He knows. He's not stupid. He knows. But combat, excuse me, is all he knows. He knows nothing else. Now, does Tony Ferguson have the ability to coach? I believe he does. I believe he
He's
does.
got his
He
school.
speaks really well. Yeah, he's got a school. He speaks really well. He's articulate. Can he teach the next generation of fighters to understand, to build their platform, learn the mic skills, and get the martial arts skills necessary to succeed? He can teach these things, right? Now, is he prepared to transition? I don't think so. I don't think he's prepared yet. This is why he refuses to tap when he's in a heel hook. This is why he refuses to tap when he's in an armbar. He is still in warrior mode. And there's
Yeah.
nothing you and I will say that will change that. You know what I mean? I don't know if his family is going to be able to change it. See, Tony Ferguson has to see for himself. When he looks in that mirror, all he sees is warrior. He does not see a coach. He does not see a gym owner. He does not see other. He does not see other. He sees warrior. It's unfortunate that he's stuck inside the box, because if he's able to step outside the box and look from outside the box, then he'll be able to see that the warrior's life has a shelf life.
Mm-hmm.
He's closer to the end than the beginning.
Yep.
The light at the end of the tunnel is a lot brighter. I can actually see buildings at the end of the tunnel. I can see buildings when I look out. Before it was just a light way far away. Now I can see the light, and I can see beyond the light, and I can see buildings in the distance. He's a lot closer to the end than he thinks. So, Tony Ferguson, you have nothing to prove to anyone. You are a phenomenal individual, an asset to the sport, someone we can look upon and say Tony Ferguson was this. Look at all the memes about Tony Ferguson. It's all positive. Tony Ferguson is the type of dude that'll shoot throw a football and go catch it, throw a pass to himself. Tony Ferguson is this. Tony Ferguson is that. You don't really see negative memes about Tony Ferguson because he commands that respect, right? But then at the same time, Tony Ferguson, you got to let it go, man. I think it's time. You've lost a step. And I don't believe Tony Ferguson will be satisfied if he's not competing against the top 5. He wouldn't be satisfied because to him it'll be a smear on his legacy. The fact that he has to come down and face 5 to 8. That means he's admitted to himself that he is not one of the best anymore.
Right.
Right? You know it and I know it. Now he has to see it so he can protect the rest of his neurons and be able to move on and grow up. Excuse me. Excuse me. Grow old with his children.
No, 1,000%. Now, Alex Ramirez says Ferguson should take a year off. He came off odd after the loss to Charles. Already, fighting Benil. Chill out. Take a tune-up fight. Maybe Diaz at 70. Here's the deal. I I'm good. I'm Tony Ferguson has nothing to prove to me, right? This is a millionaire through fighting, right? So he's got nothing to prove to me. What I want to see, I li- just as a human being, I want to see Tony Ferguson fight in the octagon again, right? That ceases to exist, at least in me, right? What I would love to see is him walking his daughters down the aisle, attending his girls' graduation, celebrating 10, 15, 20-year anniversaries and beyond with his wife. That's what I want to see.
Hmm. But
Nights
you
like
know
that,
what though?
well,
Oh, yeah.
I said
Yeah, I
just
was gonna say.
go for it.
I was gonna say that. I was gonna say. Excuse me. Can you stop, man? I was gonna say that. The roar of the crowd, man. There's no drug that comes close. Not even crack cocaine. Crack cocaine doesn't come close to the roar of the crowd. And these warriors, they tend to fall in love with it. Um, it is the ultimate drug, man. It is the ultimate drug. And when thousands of people are yelling your name, I've only had the opportunity to have hundreds of people yell my name, and I know what that felt like. Now imagine thousands, thousands, 17,000 arena. How deafening the sound is. You know what I mean? It's something special. You know what I mean? Only a few get to experience that, right?
Um,
I haven't experienced that 17,000, 20,000, 50,000. Canelo just had what, 75,000 or something ridiculous like that
yeah,
in attendance. Imagine that. Imagine that. And then now you ask him, he has to voluntarily give that up. You know what I mean? Tell a crackhead to give up his crack. It ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. He's got to be
you'll
willing
lose an
to
eye.
want to give it up. Yeah. Hey,
Yeah.
hey, man. It is the ultimate sacrifice that we must make to hear the roar of the crowd one last time.
Then, if that's the case, then I want to know what Creed is going through right now because they had that song last, like "My Sacrifice," like, and
Yeah.
they performed it in front of crowds. So the roar of the crowd.
Hmm.
Oh, and also Scott Stapp, the lead singer, might have been addicted to crack. So
Hey,
there's
there you go, man. Crack, baby, a hell of a drug. Oh, by the way, we haven't even talked about Benio Dariush.
yeah, I know. I know. But last question: do you think that Tony got lost chasing Habib and lost track of present time?
No, no. Khabib, Khabib was champion. Khabib was the beacon. Khabib was the beacon to where all 155 pounders wanted to be, right? Khabib was a GPS location. So he wasn't lost from, okay, we think about climbing a mountain and we have people coming from all angles. We're going to the same peak. So he didn't really get lost because he was headed to the right place anyway. Because Khabib was that guy. It just so happens that the game changed. The game evolved,
Mm-hmm.
right? The game evolved. The game, excuse me, the game started doing things that he is not prepared for, right? We keep talking about the dawn of the dynamic strikers, man. They are here. They are here. King's MMA teaches dynamic striking, right? King's MMA teaches dynamic striking. I mean, the fight started on the feet. It started on the feet. Darius was doing his thing.
Yeah.
He was doing his thing. And then he was like, you know what, man? Why waste myself? Because if I fight Tony in this manner, I'm gonna get damaged, man. I got a daughter, a child coming in a few days. You know what I'm saying? I, if let me try this grappling real quick. And it just so happens that he's a better transitioner than Tony Ferguson. His speed while transitioning is faster than Tony Ferguson. Is he a better grappler than Tony Ferguson? I don't think so. because he didn't get the finish. If he got the finish, grappling, then I'll be like, all right, did he pop his knee? Yeah. Was he still standing and fighting? Yeah.
Yeah.
So therefore, I say they wash on the ground. But in regards to the transitioning, he was beating Tony to every point on the ground. He was beating him to the point. But skill wise, I don't think he's that much more skilled. He was just able to maintain that dominant position. That's it. And this is what Khabib does to people, by the way. Right? Skill wise, I believe they're similar skill wise. But he was stronger than Tony. He was stronger than Tony. He initiated the blanket effect and he kept it.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Darius, man. He went out there and did his thing, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even take anything from Darius. I wasn't expecting Darius to perform that well. I didn't even know he had that kind of grappling on him.
Yeah. I'm not, I'm not mad at seeing maybe Darius or what, 155, right? So that would be Alvarez the champion. So, I know somebody had posted a meme of potentially getting Gaethje and Chandler, and I am all over that. Bring that some bitch on. We got that shit is like, when you think about it, right? That is like Taz and Mike Awesome fighting in ECW, right? Where Mike Awesome was contracted to the WCW. Taz was contracted to the WWF, and they fight for the ECW title and all that shit. Like that. That's what this is. You have a World Series of Fighting champion in Gaethje and a Bellator, multiple-time Bellator champion in Michael Chandler, and you've got them fighting in the UFC. That's it. But Darius, I wouldn't be mad.
Wait. You mentioned Mike Awesome, man. He was awesome indeed, man. That guy, man, was one bad son of a gun. Hey, I remember when he fought Tanaka in ECW. Remember Tanaka?
Yes,
hey,
Masato Tanaka. Fuck yeah.
Oh, hey, he cut this one promo, man. He was like, Tanaka, I'm going to break your damn back. Feel the power. Take the bomb. Yeah. And then he went on the ring, and they had the sickest match. Oh, my God. Shout out to Mike Awesome, man. Shout out to my rest in peace, Mike Awesome. Shout out to Mike Awesome. My dog is tripping. Get out of here, dog. Hey, shout out to Mike Awesome, man. Rest in peace to Mike Awesome. Man, we've had excellent entertainment, man, in all facets of entertainment in our lifetime. I mean, we've seen some of the greatest people come around in our lifetime. Greatest ever. We've got Michael Jordan. We've got Kobe Bryant. We've got Mike Awesome. We've got Eddie Guerrero. We've got all these. This is a special time, man. I mean, we have Tupac, we have Biggie, right? We've had some special people come and go in that time, man.
Prince, Michael Jackson,
will transcend history.
Fuck, man. Yeah, it's not bad. I ain't mad at it. And speaking of dearly departed, rest in peace to the late great New Jack Jerome Young, ECW alumnus and whatever, just a badass motherfucker. If you anybody that wants to fucking tell themselves like a badass motherfucker, New Jack, 100%.
New Jack. Hey, New Jack was off the hook, man. Hey, even back then I was a little uncomfortable. Even though ECW was an extreme channel, an extreme wrestling organization, New Jack was on a whole nother level by himself, man. I mean, his promos were uncomfortable to listen to.
Did you see the OJ one back in Smoky Mountain? You know that one? Oh God! And the crazy thing about that was like Jim Cornette's promotion, and he said that shit. Talk about shout out to my homeboy OJ. We're taking out two. You couldn't fucking do that now. You couldn't. Jesus Christ, New Jack, man, and the fucking the Vic Grimes. He damn near killed Vic Grimes. Fucking throwing him off the fucking.
He did that on purpose.
Yeah,
He ended up,
he's like,
he
we're
did that on
talking
purpose.
shit.
He tried to kill that dude because that dude
Yeah.
had hurt him
Yeah,
previously. Yeah, he hurt
yeah,
him previously. So he's like, you know what, man? Oh, I'm about to throw you off a 50-foot scaffolding
yeah.
and see what happens. Did you see how he went through those?
He landed on the fucking ropes with his fucking the back of his knees
Yeah,
and bounced the
he
fuck
almost
back.
took his own head off.
Yeah, yeah. And everybody remembers the fall, right? But I mean, he stunned fucking Vic Grimes in the balls with a stun gun, then threw him off.
I remember that. Get away.
He stunned him in the balls.
His
Not
dog's
Stone
attacking
Cold,
him.
not Stone Cold Stunner. Fucking took a stun gun to the motherfucker's nutsack, and he got grimy with Vic Grimes, fucking whatever, and then threw his monkey ass and was mad that he didn't hit the floor. R.I.P. New Jack, yo. Or that shit with Gypsy Joe. That shit with Gypsy Joe, the 70-year-old fucking journeyman wrestler, who's like didn't want to sell New Jack shit. So he fucking New Jack hit him with everything. Fucking hammer. Okay. Jesus Christ, New Jack.
Staplers.
Stapler was like the least of it. Like he hit that motherfucker with just everything. Like there might have been a fucking kitchen sink, and he fucking hit fucking 70-year-old Gypsy Joe with a fucking kitchen sink.
Every New Jack competition, he bled. I mean, you see his forehead, disgusting scars all over his forehead. He bled excuse me. He bled every time, man. What a special individual, man. That's another guy from our era, man. Ultimate Warrior. You know, all these dudes, man. Like, we've seen some pretty impressive individuals in our lifetime.
Oh man, the Warrior Hogan, fuck them, fuck him, fuck him. That's what I got. Anyway, but speaking of things that we didn't get fucked by, we didn't get fucked by the main events of the evening. We had for the vacant 155-pound title of the UFC. Literally, the cornerstone of Bellator, Michael Iron Chandler against Charles do Bronx Oliveira. This was, this was so good. It was just great. Now, I was going for fucking Chandler, right? Historical significance, Bellator, multiple-time Bellator guy coming over and winning a championship with, in the UFC, much like, again, the other co-conspirator in terms of the reason why Bellator exists, right? If Michael Chandler and Eddie Alvarez didn't go to war those fucking times, well, guess what? I don't think there would be a Bellator, right? There are two fights in Bellator. And, I thought he was going to be like Alvarez and win himself a title in the UFC. But don't tell Charles Oliveira that. Not at all. Fucking Oliveira, shit me. And that's the narrative that I wanted to tell, right? Like, champion coming out, and running roughshod in this, he had been told he wasn't the most elite fighter because he's not in the UFC or he's not a UFC champion. What the fuck is Bellator, right? But look at Charles Oliveira, dude. 28 fucking fights, right? 28 fights I think just in the UFC, something crazy. Double digits in terms of the amount of times he fought in the UFC. Double digits, right? Been in the UFC for over a decade, right? Like going back, shit, man. This dude, his debut in the UFC was in 2010. 2010.
18 years old.
Jesus Christ, man. Efren Escudero. That was it, man. And fought Donald Cowboy Cerrone and Jim Miller way back. Well, fuck this. He fought Jim Miller on the undercard of GSP versus Josh Koscheck 2. What in the fuck? Right? Or lost to Donald Cerrone at UFC on Versus 5. Versus. That's how long. That's how long
Mhm.
this guy has been here, man. I just love it. I love this. I love him winning. I love how emotional he was, fucking jumping out the cage.
Mhm.
Even Rogu was like, "This is the
Mhm.
first time since Jose Aldo, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
that we saw some shit
Mhm.
like that." And rightfully so, man.
Mhm.
I think
Yes.
I mean, and on 9 fight win streak. Fuck all the like other
Mhm.
shit, right? Just currently, just how we say it, right? We said it. The hardware keeps upgrading, right? Everything, right? So he's seen it all. He's seen a Miles Jury. He's seen a Max Holloway. He's seen Frankie Edgar, Cub Swanson, Jonathan Brookins. Remember that guy who won the Ultimate Fighter
Mhm.
and never seen it
Mhm.
again? Yeah,
Mhm. Mhm.
those guys, right? Ill Will
Mhm.
Brooks beat Ill Will Brooks. Talking about former Bellator
Mhm.
champions, Ill Will Brooks,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Clay Guida, Jim Miller again, Christos Iagos, Nick Carney Lenz. Look at
Mhm.
all the fucking times that you have to upgrade that hardware. And for fucking
Mhm. Mhm.
a better part of a decade, that is exactly what Charles DuBronx's Oliveira,
Mhm.
has done.
Mhm.
I hope
Yes.
I hope not just in this performance, but maybe in his next couple title defenses and what have you, that when he decides to hang up his gloves, we look at Charles
Mhm.
DuBronx Oliveira as one of the all-time greats. One of
Mhm.
the all-time greats.
Mhm. Hey, people don't have to agree. His his uh his body of work expresses that as a fact. What you just said is a fact. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like it. We don't have to like it. But his body of work speaks for itself. Charles Oliveira started this as a pure jiu-jitsu artist. He came in, he started strangling people left and right, and then he ran into some wrestlers. The wrestlers shut him down, and then he realized, oh my goodness, I need to understand some wrestling because he lost the strikes. He got grounded and pounded many times, or he got hit flush. Then he realized, oh, I can't hoist Gracie my way through these generations. So he started he started wrestling, and then his jiu-jitsu became more sharp due to his wrestling addition. And he was still getting beat by the Cerrones and other people that you mentioned. So he's like, oh, okay, there's one more piece missing, which is my striking. So he initiated the striking with Shoot the Box Academy. We've heard about Shoot the Box. Shoot the Box.
Yes.
They've been putting out great quality product for years. The Anderson
Since the
Silva,
beginning.
since the beginning. You know what I mean? Those guys are a legit producers of top talent. So this is what he did. He went the hard way. He did it the hard way, and he took his time doing it. He evolved quite well, and now he has become a complete fighter. Not only is he a complete fighter, he has been able to modernize himself and become a dynamic striker. He is now a master of reach. We talked about understanding reach. We talk about that many. He is a master of reach. Wait, my personal assessment of this particular matchup was as such that he would strike a tiny bit and go for the submission because Chandler is a dangerous individual. He's got lots of power.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, but another thing that we didn't realize is he in the last few matches become really really calm when he fights. Right? This
Perfect.
isn't a fluke. This isn't a fluke. This isn't a fluke. The reason why he's so calm is he believes in his Jesus. One, he believes in his skill. Two, and he believes in the people that support him. Three, and with that trinity behind him, he is able to be free in the octagon. You know what I mean? And this is becoming clear to us now. More evident than yesterday when he went up against the formidable Mike Chandler. Mike Chandler brought that heat at him in the beginning. He he hit him really good, right? He dazed him. Immediately, his wrestling prowess kicked in. He initiated the takedown, right? Put Mike Chandler in a terrible situation, forcing Mike Chandler to turn his back or take that ground and pound those elbows. He gave up his back. He said, "Thank you. I'll jump on your back." Became a
Yep.
backpack. Started working from the back. But Mike Chandler was able to defend. So we did get one thing right. We said that Mike Chandler's wrestling would nullify his jiu-jitsu, which happened.
Yep.
Mike Chandler was able to spin around in guard and continue the fight, getting
Facts.
back to his feet. Eventually, they stood up and they finished the first round. They went to their corners, right? Oliveira got instruction. Chandler got instruction. They met back in the middle, and Oliveira's like, "Okay, I'm gonna stand with you now. Let's see what you got. Actually, let me show you what I can do. Striking." And he brought the striking to him.
Yep.
Clean striking, not that power shots, not that Street Fighter type nonsense. Clean, precise striking. Oliveira has taken his striking level to that of elite status. He is now comparable to the Dustin Poirier in crispness, to the Irishman, Conor McGregor. When it comes to, I mean, the shot that he hit him with was a 2-3. He threw the 2, got his range. He touched him, but he didn't really damage him. That 3 landed clean, and it wasn't it was perfect. It was the right amount of force, the right amount of twitch. It wasn't nothing done that was overpowering about it. He didn't even throw it at 100%. He was in flow. You know what I mean? He was in flow. Just wah wah, 2-3. Caught him on the chin, spun him around. Chandler, being the tough wrestler that he is, he tried to get back up, but nah, homie, I already saw weakness. I see blood in the water. Like a shark, he went straight to it. Pinned him up on the fence, posted out, finished him off with those left hooks. Chandler is out.
Yeah.
He went out there. See, this is another thing that I say about Khabib all the time. I'm not saying Khabib is not a great fighter. He's great. He just so happens to be a great wrestler. He's an outlier. Khabib is out there by himself. This is not what I want for my MMA.
Right.
Charles Oliveira. Charles Oliveira came in. Dominant jiu-jitsu. Dominant. Right? Dominant. His jiu-jitsu automatically took him into the top 10. Just jiu-jitsu alone. But then he went the extra mile and learned wrestling. He went the extra mile and learned striking. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. He didn't just rely on that one thing that made him an outlier. He respects the art so much. He respects the art so much that he was willing to incorporate more tools, meaning given an opportunity to more martial arts, making himself now a complete fighter. Khabib is not a complete fighter. He's a dominant fighter. He's a dominant wrestler who hasn't seen anyone that can compare to him yet. But Khabib, to me, is not the best mixed martial artist. When they gave him pound for pound and all that, I truly disagree. Because, first of all, he hasn't been a champion long enough for you to give him that title. While John Jones is right there and been dominating from 16 to 19 years, since he was 19 years old. Dominated. I mean, championship matches over and over and over and over. Everything. 5-round wars. 5-round matches for over 10 years. And you want to tell me he's second to Khabib? Get the hell out of here. Get out of here. I'm not hating on Khabib. I'm just saying Khabib is not a mixed martial artist. He's not a mixed martial artist. He's a dominant Dagestani wrestler. That's all he is. That's all he is. You know what I mean? Now, when we see Charles Oliveira, that's a complete fighter. That's a mixed martial artist. That is what I want representing my mixed martial arts. You know what I mean? Someone who is willing to put their ego aside and say, hey, man, I can benefit from this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And it showed in the way he fought. It shows. Not only did he strike, he wrestled. Not only did he wrestle, he jujitsu. Not only did he did all these things that are foreign, and at the same time, all these things that make him a complete mixed martial artist. And on top of that, he's able to access free flow,
Free flow.
and this is what made him a champion.
I couldn't have said it any better, man. And at 31 years old, man, with the amount of experience, and a champion. Fuck, man, the future is so bright for Charles
Yes,
Oliveira.
he 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 has made it clear that it's gonna be tough, really tough, to beat him. You're gonna have to put his lights out, and if you don't, it's gonna be a long night for you. Conor McGregor is in trouble. Dustin Poirier in trouble. In trouble. Justin Gaethje, they're all in trouble. They just don't know it yet. They're all in trouble. I'm convinced now. After what he did to Mike Chandler, I'm convinced that this guy is a force to be reckoned with. And he will defend that belt over and over. He will defend that belt over and over. The fact that he's 31, he's just 31 years old, and he's doing this kind of damage, so young, he's just entering his prime. He's just entering, I mean, he's got another 3 to 4 years in his prime. 3 to 4 years in his prime. You know how much damage he's going to do by then? The only thing that I see that's going to be an asterisk or whatever you say, on his record is the fact that he never learned English. And because he never learned English, even though I think he knows English, I was watching him. I was watching him closely. Yeah, I was watching him closely. And when at the press conference, when people would make comments, he would smirk. Like Jose Aldo does the same thing. Those suckers, they know how to speak English. They just refuse to speak English. I guess that's part of their how do you call it, their
Appeal?
character, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. But the thing is, hey, if that's your character, man, just understand that your character would just have a shiny belt. Your character would not make money, and if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So that's all I can say in
Yeah.
regards to negative about Charles Oliveira. He's all positive in my book, man. Congratulations, Du Bronx Oliveira. Uh, 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 you went out there and you woo Vamoes, your opponent. So
Mm-hmm.
good job, man. Good job. And Michael Chandler, man, graceful in defeat. He went out
Yeah.
there and he gave it up to his opponent. You know what I mean? Even before the fight, he gave it up to his opponent. He
Yeah.
knew he was in for a tough match. He knew he was in for a tough match. But it is what it is. Charles Oliveira is a man now. Now he sits at the head of the throne and he waits for the next to ascend the stairs of battle and come and meet me on this platform. He doesn't have to call nobody out now. Everyone has to call him out now. Now he's got the bullseye on his back. And
Yeah.
I think he's mature enough to handle himself. So I was hearing Chael Sonnen was talking about this guy. He still lives in a favela. He's got millions of dollars and he lives in a favela. Hey, I
Wow.
like that. Yeah, man, I like that. He's living in a favela, and Chael was talking about he sponsors those school children. He gets some books. He gets some pencils. He feeds them. What else can you expect from the dude? Is a
He's a
good
champion.
dude. He's a people's champion. He's
Yeah.
a people's champion. And it saddens me that he's not going to get what he truly deserves because he refuses to speak English. As long as he's okay with his current state, then, hey, I shouldn't worry because he's fine. You know what I mean? But I just don't think he's going to get that money that he truly deserves after I've working so hard for so many years. You know what I mean? Evolving with the sport. It is not easy to evolve with the sport.
Yeah.
Evolving so much in all these years that he's been there, 11 plus years, evolving, keeping up with the sport. Now he's champion, and he's not gonna get paid what he truly deserves. You know what I mean? And that's
Nah.
unfortunate, but it is what it
I.
is.
Yeah. Because look at Amanda Nunes, right? You say that and look at Amanda Nunes, literally the baddest woman on the planet. The first openly, lesbian champion. All this stuff. Where at a time where Ellen DeGeneres has made a living for the last what, damn near 20 years, right?
Hmm.
Off
Hmm.
of being, notable. lesbian woman and accepted by middle America, right? That's no
Mhm.
longer a
Mhm.
thing, right? But look, Amanda
Mhm. Yep.
Nunes,
Mhm.
she knows English. Her wife is in the UFC, speaks English, and look,
Yep.
so that's not, you know, I don't think Oliveira like needs it because even look at
Mhm.
he was just fucking, you know, literally like carving away for himself, right? Championship,
Mhm.
no championship. Like this is his in all of those fights, right? This is his first title shot, right?
Mhm.
So what the
Yep.
fuck? Like what the fuck?
See,
Like what does a guy have to
that's
do?
that's part of that's part of what I'm saying though. You got to think in regards to business. If you have a company, right, and your company sells product to an English speaking customers, and you have this Brazilian cat that works for you that doesn't speak English, you're less likely to put him at the forefront of your store to greet people. He's not going to be the one to be up front greeting people. See, Oliveira marched his way up there, kicked the door down, and said, "Hey, vamos ahead," and started speaking Portuguese. You know what I'm saying? He did that. He forced his way up there, right?
Right.
But he never got an opportunity because he never learned to speak English. That's just
Yeah.
it. I mean,
Okay.
who's going to sell the
But
product? An
but
interpreter? Nobody
Amanda,
wants to listen to an interpreter.
hey, you know what? Those Brazilians were given that the interpreter that looked like the lead singer from Go West. That motherfucker looked like he was the king of wishful thinking, but he was earning that motherfucker a paycheck. That's what Charles Oliveira, by just speaking Portuguese, was doing. Is keeping that guy employed, so he doesn't have to sing that fucking song from 1982. But I digress. That's a fucking good song. I like the song. I'm not hating on the song.
And
But
by the
yeah,
way, and one more thing. Wait. In regards to Amanda Nunes made a choice not to be a moneymaker because she could have. The LGBT got money. They got lots of money. LGBTQ community got money. I mean, look at the Black Lives Matter chicks. You know what I mean? They racked up $90 million. $90 million.
crazy to think, huh?
It is what it is. Hey, man, it's easy to make money as LGBTQ. She doesn't want to be the face of nothing. That's why she's not doing it. I can almost guarantee you that she has been approached. She just turned it down. I mean, come on, a dominant champion like that.
Yeah.
What better poster child? What better poster child than a dominant female champion that's smashing everything in sight? Put a man in front of her, she might smash him too. You know what I mean? The
More
narrative
likely than not.
can be made. You know what I'm saying? So you have this polarizing figure, and it's not the face of your your sexuality. Come on, you know what I mean? She
Yeah.
chose not to do it. The money's there. She just don't want it. She don't want the
Okay.
attention that comes with it.
Okay. That's fine. But
Mm?
Oliveira finds himself at as a champion where
Mhm.
the division has never looked sexier in terms of main events, right? Because you've got him on top, right? The number one contender is Dustin Poirier, who
Mhm.
is fighting number five Conor McGregor, but that's the real money fight, right?
Mhm.
So, Gaethje might fight Chandler, right? So you got maybe the next fight, the first title defense is Beneil Dariush, which man, after the nights both of those guys had, I'm not mad at
Okay.
that main event, right? But here's the thing,
Okay. I got a
so we've
question
got
for you.
all right,
I got a question for you. Are you ready?
sure,
Charles Oliveira versus Benil Dariush. You need to sell this in England. Who's
England,
gonna buy it?
the
Yeah.
motherfucker
Who's
that
gonna
beat
buy it?
Tony and the motherfucker that beat Chandler.
Who's gonna buy it? Who's gonna buy it? Who's gonna buy it in Europe? Who's gonna buy
Are
it?
you sure?
Who's gonna buy it in Asia? Nobody's gonna buy that, man. This is
Okay,
why these people never got the opportunity to get go. They have to fight and claw their way to the top. Nobody's gonna buy it. They're not marketable. Unfortunately, they're great fighters. I'm not trying to diminish them at all. But when we think of business, why does Conor McGregor keep getting second look? Conor loses, and he's like, "Hey man, I want an immediate rematch at such and such time." And guess what? He gets it. This Poirier fight is another example. These people are look. The corporation, the UFC, does not give a damn who the champion is. They don't care. They have nothing invested in those people as human beings. All right, what can you do for me? Is what it's about. Charles Oliveira, you can't sell pay-per-view for me. If we're in Brazil and you headline in Brazil, we know we're gonna sell $4 million in the arena. We know that, okay? But if we take you, Charles Oliveira, and you're not fighting Conor McGregor, and we take you to Dublin, you're not gonna sell out. You're not gonna sell out. The undercard is gonna sell more tickets than you. This is a fact. Beneil Dariush, how many arenas is he gonna sell out? I mean, I like these guys. Don't get me wrong. I really like them. As a martial artist, I appreciate them. But when it comes to business and making money, they are not the first choice. They're not even second choice. They're like third and fourth. Unfortunately, if people were appreciated for their talent, then they will be at the head of the table. But this isn't the case. This is the entertainment era, you know? I mean, people like The Rock, people like Jake Paul are making millions of dollars. You know why?
Yeah.
Because they're entertaining. Not because of their skills, because they're entertaining, right?
Right.
The fighters, like the ones that Beneil Dariush and these two guys, they're fighters. They're true fighters. But they're not entertainers. And this is why I was saying earlier that Oliveira, the only asterisk that I can see is he's not going to make the money he truly deserves. I mean, they didn't even promote him for this match. Mike Chandler
That's
got
true.
promoted for this match.
That's true.
Did you see anything about Charles Oliveira? Like,
No.
going to the hometown of Charles Oliveira and blah, 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 like inside access or nothing. Nothing. He was. I mean,
Yeah, you're right.
when we think Charles Oliveira, we don't think money. We think a really good jiu-jitsu guy, but we don't think money. When we think of Conor McGregor, red panties. So, unfortunately, the best don't always get the respect that they deserve. And that's what's going on here. And these guys are truly the best.
Yeah.
Dariush, will he get that next title shot? I think Dariush is going to wait until the winner of Conor and Dustin Poirier finishes handling their business. And that's going to be the next match. Poirier can sell more than both of those guys. Tell me he can't. Tell me Dustin Poirier can't sell more than both of those guys.
No. So
not to talk about McGregor.
No. Oliveira, right, didn't take that much damage. So I'm sure he's going to want to fight not,
Hey, listen to his interview. Whatever Mr. Dana says, I would do.
Right. So that's what, right. So they're going to make
any choice.
All right. So that means all right. That means he's not waiting around. They're going to give him and Beneil Dariush. They're going to give Dariush a month and a half to have his kid. And by the end of the summer, we're getting that. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be surprised if they put that on the undercard as the co-main of the Poirier Conor card. That's in July.
You think they would disrespect Oliveira like that? Putting him as an undercard even though he's champion? I don't think they would do that. It's a good idea. Everybody makes money. Conor McGregor will make everybody make money, get the money that they deserve. But they might not do that, just for the respect aspect of things. The same way Conor would never be undercard anyway.
The same people that respected Amanda Nunes going into the Ronda fight, right? Right.
Exactly.
Same people.
That's true. You got a point. Valid point.
The same reason why Dustin forgo this. This could have been Dustin Poirier here, right? like so somebody would have got sniffed out of luck. Either Oliveira or Chandler would have gotten booted out of this fight, right? If Poirier said no to Connor. That's let's be real. Let's be real. All right. So
hey, hey, we talked about that a year ago, man. We talked about when Dustin was right before he fought for the title, or right after. I can't remember. It was around the time they were doing the Fight Island, right when they started
yeah,
the Fight Island. We talked about how if there was opportunity to fight for the title or go for the money against Connor, I would choose Connor. Remember we talked about that a long time
yep,
ago. And guess what he did, man? He made that money because he's smart. You're, the smart ones go for the money. The naive ones go for the title. You know what I mean?
yeah.
You are in this to make money, man. If I had to choose, I choose money every time, man. Every time. Because that title don't define me, man.
Yeah, which I'm looking.
What I do for the world defies me. What I
Okay.
do for the world. Like Charles Dubronx, he sees the favela. That's what's gonna define him. And as long as he's okay with that favela appreciating him and not the world, hey man, that's all that matters.
Okay. No, 100%. Apparently the UFC 264 card. Oh man, that's only like 2 UFCs away, but it's already
Oh
finalized.
yeah.
It's already finalized, so we're not gonna get there.
Oh really?
Yeah. So the co-main for that one would actually be Gilbert Burns and Wonder Boy. So just
I like it. I like it.
wait, whoa, hold on. Okay, so as it stands right now, we've got Irina
Uh huh.
Aldana versus Yana
Uh
Kutskaya,
huh.
Decrease
Uh huh.
Duplessis
Hey
versus
man.
Trevin Giles, Taitu Ivasa versus Greg Hardy, Omari Akhmedov against Brad Tavares, Zulgaz Zumagulov against Jerome Rivera, Jennifer Maya versus Jessica I, right? And then Ryan Hall versus Ilya Topuria. So those are all
Mm.
prelims. Those are all prelims.
Mm.
And
Mm.
supposedly, they're going to have people pay $90 for a 3 fight card that consists of Sean O'Malley versus Louis Smolka, Gilbert Burns versus
Mhm.
Wonderboy, and Dustin Poirier versus Connor, non-title.
Hey man, you gotta understand. When Conor McGregor is in town, you're gonna get more than a fight. You're gonna get an entire month long entertainment. You know what I mean? This is what people need to understand. this is this isn't just about honor anymore. This is about making money. I mean, why are you fighting? So people can say, "Hey man, he was the baddest fighter alive," but yet you and a bum living in the street. At one point, man, that was the baddest man on the planet, but he's
Yeah.
broke now. You know what I mean? That makes no sense to me. That makes no sense. You break your body, you break your brain cells, you lose your brain cells. Brain cells, man, after 7 years old, they're gone. You're
Yeah.
born with more than you need. Once you hit 7 years old, it goes down. Let's say, for example, you're born with 10 billion. When you hit 7 years old, it goes down to five. And then you live with that five the rest of your life. So what you lose never comes back, really. I mean, now you're able to like do whatever stem cells and whatever, right? But it's
Yeah.
very difficult to replenish your brain cells, right? And if you're not getting what you're worth for it, it at least try, right? Like Charles Oliveira, at least try, man. Like, hello, hi, I win something. The Americans would eat it up. They will eat it up. I mean, remember, let's go to WWE, man, and ECW, that Japanese cat, Tajiri.
Misaki.
Remember Tajiri?
Oh, Tajiri. Yeah, yeah.
Tajiri, remember Tajiri?
Yeah.
Tajiri, at the most, he spoke one line of English, but then everyone will go wild. Remember when he told Booker T? Booker T,
Yeah.
you look like crackhead or something like that.
Yeah.
Tell me he just didn't say that. Hey, sometimes, man, all you need is one line, right? It doesn't take, you don't have to be fluent. Jean Wei Lee, remember my name. That's it.
That's
That's
it.
it. Try. They just want to see you try, man. One thing you
Yeah.
need to understand about the American market is they thrive on instant gratification. What have you done for me lately? And the
Yeah.
company operates the same way. Mike Chandler came in and he did and he did and he did for the company. Within 1 year, he got a title shot. Instant gratification.
Yeah.
Instant gratification. What can you do for me right now? This is what feeds in the UFC. You want to eat in the UFC? Conor McGregor did the same thing. They called him up and he answered the call of the bell. I mean, he never turned down a fight. Dana White says it all the time. This kid never turns down anything. That's what I like about him. Da 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 da. And that's what I like about him. All you gotta do is listen to that. What do you think Mike Chandler did? He's at Bellator listening to Dana White talk about Conor McGregor, and he said, "Oh, shit, that's all I need to do is just say yes." And guess what? He said yes 2 times. One as a backup, two for the hangman, and three titles. He came out of nowhere and he got the title. Of course, you got to be good on the mic and all that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? He wasn't like superb on the mic. All he did was speak. He wasn't like wow. But he was alright. But look, I mean, look at the rewards, right? So don't go to UFC and expect a shiny belt. You're gonna be broke at the end of the day, man. Look at all these fighters that are trying to sue the UFC now. The era of the tough fighters, the tough guys, the ones that
It's
are
over.
stand there and bang it out. You know what I mean? Those guys now they're broke, and and they want to be paid, so they're suing, as they should, as they should. They haven't been paid. They never worried about money. They worried about being glorious. They worried about glory. They worried about being etched in legacy. Legacy doesn't pay bills, folks. Legacy doesn't pay bills. Only money. Only money. And if you ain't got money, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Quote the poet DJ Quick.
Yeah, man. So, shit, yeah. More question than answer for UFC 262. But, man, fucking blood and guts, man. That wasn't
Blood and
falling
guts.
off of fucking cages onto cardboard and shit. Chris Jericho, I'm looking at you. But this one was a good one. Shit, yeah. So,
Yes, it
speaking
was.
of the WWE, they got a fucking pay-per-view. So, we got to get the fuck out. Alex Ramirez says, hey, thanks, guys. Gotta roll. Keep up the good work. Cheers, Voodoo. Shout out to everyone chiming off in the comments. Now, Voodoo, for everyone
Yo,
to get more Voodoo Maximus in their life, where can they find you on social media?
you already know, man. I can't do more than 4, man. It's too much out there. TikTok, ticking, and all this ticking and all these nonsense. I ain't got time for it. But you can find me on YouTube. The good old YouTube. I've had a YouTube for years. I just never used it. YouTube, Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. Those are my 4 main ones, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to holler at me? Find me on one of them, especially Instagram. That's where I'm at. Come holler at your boy all day, every day. And you already know where to find my boy, According to Woods, on all platforms. Just go to Google, man, type in According to Woods, and pow! He pops up everywhere. So look us up. Like,
There you
share, and
go.
subscribe. And we'll bring you
Yes,
more.
more of this shit. So Voodoo in the Woods, both on YouTube and Facebook. If you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe. You'll get me, this guy, all this stuff, breaking down fights and what have you. But until next week, we will see you with more Voodoo in the Woods.